What is up, people? Terry here with Beyond Slap, and today I'm at Extreme Couture, and I'm speaking with Brad Tavares. Brad, how you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm well.
Brad, I know you're super busy, so I'm going to keep it as quick as possible. You got a big fight going this week. You got against Park.
Yep.
They know him as Iron Turtle.
Iron Turtle. Yep.
How you feel going in this fight?
I'm feeling great. I like the matchup stylistically, and just excited to get back out there.
Awesome. What's your game plan? Without giving away too much.
No. Game plan is without getting into the game plan is definitely imposing my game on him. Imposing what we set out to do and sticking to that, not getting outside of what we set out to do.
Awesome. Your coach, now this wasn't a question I had, but your coach, I've seen him in a lot of your fights.
Yep.
How long have you been with this coach? What's his name first?
Ray Seffel and Eric Nixick. So the three guys always in my corner. Going to be Ray Seffel, Eric Nixick, and Devin. Devin and I, we're like brothers. We grew up together. Been together forever, I guess you could say. Eric and Ray and I, we've been together since pretty much the very beginning of my UFC career.
Awesome.
So
yeah, he's like a father figure
yeah,
to you.
Yeah.
Well,
Big brother, definitely they've been there for the whole ride, and I wouldn't be here where I am today without them.
Absolutely. The guy's amazing with you. All right, the UFC gives you 3 seats in your corner. If you got a 4th seat, but it could not be an MMA instructor, it could be like a celebrity, famous person, even a family member. Who would you put in that 4th seat?
I'd probably bring one of my boys. I like just bringing guys that I'm comfortable with. Dan has cornered me before. Dennis Davis. Sorry, not Dennis Davis, but Danny Davis. He's been in there, and these guys are just usually my training partners. And it's not to say that they can't bring instruction, but I just like having them around me.
Awesome. All right, everybody seems to be doing a crossover fight. Some are going to boxing, some are going to jiu-jitsu, some are even going like the WWE.
Yeah.
If you could have a crossover fight with any opponent, what promotion would you pick, and who would that opponent be?
Definitely right now, I think the money fight out there is Jake Paul. And I definitely think that's out of all the guys out there, that's the best fight, like stylistically. And don't get me wrong, Jake Paul, like everybody at first was like, oh, this kid is just a YouTuber, a Vine. Yeah. He obviously trains really hard.
Yes.
He has some of the best coaches. He has a lot of money to put that behind him, but he's putting in the work.
He shut me up.
Yeah, so I would love that opportunity to go out there and box with him.
Who are you calling for that fight this week, Perry or Jake Paul?
Man, I feel like Jake is much bigger, but I'm gonna have to stick with the MMA guy and stick with Mike Perry. I like Mike Perry.
Gotcha. Now this is one you probably never had before. MMA doesn't have tag teams, but if you had something like where it was 2 people, who would you pick that you could work best with in the octagon as your partner?
Oh, okay. I'll pick Ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of like the question they asked me, like, hey, if you're going into like a battle, like you're going into a fight, who are you calling?
There you go.
Pick a couple guys, and Ray is always at the top of that list.
Awesome. All right. Why'd you pick Extreme Couture for the place for you to train?
So coming from Hawaii, at the time, Extreme Couture was seen as like the gym of gyms, and being out here in Vegas, there at the time, this was 2008, 2009. There wasn't a whole bunch of gyms like there is today.
Yeah.
The sport wasn't where it was today. And Extreme Couture was one of those where we looked at my team MMAD in Hawaii. We looked up to Extreme Couture and we're like, hey, that's the place we need to be. There's the who's who there. Randy was still there, Jay Hiron, Martin Kampman, all of these guys. So we knew that we wanted to eventually move to Vegas and train with those guys. And, fast forward 14, 15, 16 years later, here I am.
All right, here's another one. It's a curveball for you. You're already, I consider, a legend in the sport. You're what, 30 fights, pro fights, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. What year would you predict that they put you in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. That'd be great.
Just pick a year.
Yeah. Shucks. I mean, it would have to be after I retired, and I don't even know when that is. So maybe in the next coming couple years. How about let's round it off, 2030?
I said 2032, actually.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close on that. What's the coolest thing you've been featured on? I've seen you on cards, and I've seen you in video games. I'm sure there's other stuff. What's the coolest thing you've seen your face on?
I would have to say, for me, being a heavy gamer, it's the video game. When I finally made it to the first UFC video game that I was a part of, that was one of those moments in my career and in my life. I was really taken aback by that. I thought that was the coolest thing. I grew up playing the UFC video game and playing other video games, and I loved it. And it's funny, Ray, before I met him, me and my best friends used to play as him. In the K1 game.
Yep. Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
What motivates you the most for fights? I mean, to get you pumped and ready.
I think the thing that motivates me the most is what has always motivated me is the fact that there's another guy standing across of you that thinks that he can beat you, you know, and he and that's what it is. Like that's at the end of the day, that's how we got into fight, or that's how I got into fighting. You know, like it was like so, excuse my language, but like a dick measuring contest. You know, like who's the toughest guy in the room?
Never
And,
any fear?
nah, you always go through like anxiety here or there, but yeah, it's part of it. I'm one of those guys. I remember my very first competition ever back in Hawaii. My very first ever time in the ring. It wasn't even an MMA fight. It was this crossover thing called Got Skills, where it's like kickboxing mixed with boxing mixed with grappling, and that's the most nervous I had ever been in my life. And then after that fight, I was pretty smooth sailing after that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, this one's another curveball. Joe Rogan or the Schmo? Which one would you listen to if you could only listen to one?
Joe Rogan.
Everybody
Joe
picks that,
Rogan.
but the Schmo's making moves.
Yeah.
He's really impressive.
Yeah.
All right, this one is a little different. Now, Dana White thinks power slap is the next big thing.
Okay.
How do you feel about the sport, first of all? Have you ever watched it?
I have watched it. Props to those guys. You know what? Don't get me wrong. When it first came around, I thought it was stupid. And then I watched it a few times, and I'm like, oh, I still don't understand everything about it, like the rules and how they score it and whatnot.
Gotcha.
But it is entertaining, very entertaining. And one of the best guys in the world, I think, is the Crazy Hawaiian.
Yeah.
And
I'm interviewing him, actually.
yeah, there we go. And
actually,
I think he's like one of the top, if not the top guy in the world. I love watching that guy. He just puts guys down, and he's so big, and the guys he's slapping is so big. But that being said, I that's not something I would do unless I could slap first. And if I don't knock that guy out, I'll be like, you know what, never mind.
Have you ever met the Crazy Hawaiian or his brother?
I'm trying to think. I know we've interacted a little bit over social media, but I'm not sure if we ever got to meet in person.
I don't know if it's Hawaiians in general, but you guys are the most politest people I've ever met because they're just like you. They got that friendly personality. I mean, they can knock anybody out, but they don't go with that edge.
Yeah, it's the aloha spirit. You know, that's what we call the aloha spirit.
All right, I got two more questions for you.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite spot here in Vegas? Thing to do when you're not in the gym? It can't be the gym.
Eat.
Eat.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got some of the best places in Vegas to eat. Two of my favorite, It Sushi.
Okay.
I love sushi, and then a newly favorite. I've only been there twice, but it's become a favorite already. Is a place called the Chubby Cattle. It's an all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue spot.
Wow.
Yeah, on Spring Mountain.
Okay, is that over there in Chinatown?
Yep.
Okay, last question. Oops, actually, let me make sure. All right. If you are the most polite person I ever said. So this ain't to hype up the fight or anything. If you could send out one message to your opponent after the fight, whether you win or lose, what would you tell him after the fight?
I'll tell him, regardless of how it goes, I'll tell him, great job, and it was a pleasure to share the octagon with him.
Awesome, Brad. Thank you so much for your time. You've been amazing doing this.
Yeah,
brother.
of course.
Thank you.